Oh, we're done for. We're done for. We're done diddly done for. We're done diddly doodly done diddly doodly done diddly doodly done diddly doodly.
Flanders, snap out of it!
Thank you, Homer. I don't know what got.
Dad, I think he's okay.
It's better to be safe than sorry. Sorry.
Welcome back to Kirill Smashes Acting. I'm Kirill, actor, educator, cat enthusiast, and I'm wearing my very special shirt because this is a very special episode with an even more special guest. A lot of the people that I've spoken to because of this channel are up-and-coming actors, and they're starting their careers trying to get agents and trying to establish themselves in the business. So today we have a guest on the video. We're doing an interview with Jacqueline Wheeler, agent, actor, and most importantly, wonderful human. Jacqueline and I met in grad school while we were doing our MFAs in acting, and since then she moved to New York and has become a very successful agent. So I thought, who better to do a video with and really ask her the questions that I've been getting from my students the most. Please forgive me for the quality of my end of the video. Now, it will look like I'm on Skype, but I'm actually in the room with her. It's not that I wasn't there, it's just that I forgot the battery for one of my cameras. We got to talk about the things that we thought actors should know when they're about to have their interview with their first agent, and a few other tips and tricks about taping and talking to agents. So we hope you enjoy, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Would you mind introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Jacqueline Wheeler. I work for Nicolosi Co, a talent agency in New York. I met Kirill in grad school at Michigan State University, where we got our MFA in acting as an equal focus in teaching and acting, and I had a secondary focus on the business.
Beautiful. A lot of people who watch these videos are trying to break into the industry, and they've had all kinds of different levels of success. I've spoken to a few viewers out in LA who are actually working actors, and they were just trying to rehone their skills. But a lot of the people who watch are still starting up and getting up in the business. In your time as an agent, what do you think are a few things that actors really need to know when they're coming in for their first agent interview?
Great question. I like sharing this type of advice for sure, because I think it's something, I think that actors, especially starting out, start to think like, oh my gosh, I just need an agent, and it's all about them picking me, but it really isn't. It's very much a business relationship, and you have to think about it as such. So you need to come in prepared, like knowing about the agency that you're talking to, do your research, know who's on the client list, know the type of projects that they work on and what their clients are booking, and come in having a good idea about yourself, and being a well-rounded person goes really far. Like, have hobbies outside of it that you can talk about, because in those agent interviews, we're basically just wanting to get to know you as a human being. Our agency in particular, and some other agencies do it differently, but if you are coming in for a meeting with us, we've already seen your work in some capacity, whether it's a reel or you send over clips of you singing, or we saw you in a show, or we saw you on TV and film. So we're not going to make you audition for us. We just want to be able to have a conversation and know that we can connect to you, and know that you have a clear idea of who you are and what you kind of want from a career. Because we like to say that you're the CEO and we sit on your board of directors. So we're support staff for you and your career. We're there to help you guide and to make sure that it's the most successful career possible for you, and to help you achieve all those goals that you'd like. So it's good to come in with like a set, like what you do want to be, what type of projects you do want to be working on, goals that you have for yourself. I mean, in those meetings, when they're asking you stuff about how you see your career professionally, advice I would have for people is to stay on projects that you will get money from. And, some people might come in and say like, I love Shakespeare and I want to be doing Shakespeare, blah, blah, blah. It might not be the best thing to share. And like, of course you want to share your love for Shakespeare, but you might want to focus it more on things that are going to be like the projects they are actively seeking for you. So really hone in and focus in on coming in with questions for them, like how they communicate with their clients and just specific questions that you've been able to find through your research, and don't be scared to come in with it written down in a notebook and make sure you get your questions answered. It's important because it also shows that you are ready for a business relationship. You know who you are, you know what you want, and you just want to be clear on things.
There's a lot of people who watch these videos and they hear things a lot like, know who you are, but to them that's a very nebulous idea. So what does that mean to you for an actor to know who they are?
For me, you know this about me, my biggest acting philosophy is the most interesting thing about a character is you. And I truly believe that like you are the thing that's going to pop. You are the thing that's going to make them go, oh, it makes it so special. Like, oh, of course you want to encompass what the breakdown says for the character, but bringing yourself to it is what's really going to make you stand out and make it pop and make you book. So knowing who you are as an individual outside of acting, outside of any of this, is going to be able to read. We want to see that you know who you are. We want to see that you know, like, what types of roles you could play. I mean, type is a word that truly people are trying to transition completely out of. People are like, ugh, the word type, gross. Like, but there still is a type in which the types of roles that you're going to play, like, you'll always be called in for the
bad guy.
For the bad guy soldier role. Like, it's just...
I know I've said this a million times, but one of these days, and once I do it, there's no going back. I have to shave my head.
Well, yeah, but also right now, like with your look right now, you could totally be young dad and like business guy and whatever, you know, like, so there are many different things. I mean, type is a funny thing, but it is important to know, like, if you're not going to be like the cheerleader, like if you're not the cheerleader type or whatever, it's important to know that, you know, where do you fit? Like, what can you play? But really, when I say know yourself, it's outside of all of this, and we're gonna be able to tell if you know yourself and you're confident in who you are within the first couple of minutes of you coming into the office. So it's important to be comfortable with who you are.
What has an actor done that has surprised you in a positive way?
What has an actor done that surprised me in a positive way?
It could be anything. It could be from the way they deal with you or the way they dealt with casting or anything at all that comes to mind. There's no wrong answers, as they said in grad school.
Well, mainly for me, it's when I see a self-tape that really was outside of the parameters in which I put them in, when they break down those barriers and, like, say, nail an incredibly emotional scene or end up booking something that I never even pictured them for, but maybe, like, they ended up nailing it and making it their own and booking something that I hadn't even completely seen for them.
What is it that actors think they know about agents, which they really don't?
Actors take everything way too personally, which is totally, I mean, to be expected, especially since, like, the business of acting when you're an actor is literally about you, and you, like, I just wish actors knew how not personal it was. No one's trying to, when you don't book something, it's not about, like, you're the worst actor in the world and oh my gosh, why can't I book? It's literally just like how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And it may be about completely just putting together a puzzle piece that you slightly just didn't, like, fit that time. But it, you know, that's really, like, the main thing, is because I just see actors beat themselves up so much. And yeah, I mean, every one of them I've ever met. It's like, it's just so personal when it really just isn't. I mean, it's not.
So you mentioned earlier about how before an actor walks into the room for their first agent interview, that they should really do their research to make sure that this is a good fit for them. Mm-hmm. How does an actor who's coming up and learning the business, what do they do? How do they do their research? What's the best method?
Well, everything's online. So Instagram, every agency has a website. You can go straight to IMDb Pro and see client lists for different agencies and do your research that way. You are, with the internet, you have full accessibility to do the research that you need to do before you go in. And let someone know that you know about their agency. You're not just coming in being like, what do you do? What kind of agency is this?
Totally.
You know?
Absolutely. So, in an interview, what do you look for in the energy of this actor who you're potentially going to sign onto your roster?
I look for a normal, nice person. We are... Nicolosi, we feel like our brand is like real people and nice, good people. And we really we do not lower our standard for that. So if you're coming in, if you're not our vibe, which is like chill and nice and good and wants to do work, I don't know. Like, that's what we're looking for. It's for us, at least. Everybody's looking for different things, but mostly everyone's talented. So you got to have something about you as a human being that makes them like you. And I had a boss tell me one time, it's all about the beer.
The beer.
All about the beer.
What does that mean?
That means everybody just wants someone that they can get a beer with after work. Everyone wants someone that they could go and get a drink with. That's basically what that means. It's all about the beer.
If you had to boil it down, give us 3 tips that every actor needs to remember before walking into that room.
3 tips everyone needs to remember before walking into that room is shake it out, be yourself. You're a human being. This might not be 3 tips, but I'm just going to go with it. You're a human being. They're a human being. Remember that, because that should like take the edge off a little bit. This is not some like make or break moment for you. If it's not the right fit, there are other agencies. There are other people out there. If you got the interview, it means that you'll get the interview with someone else. So don't be too hard on yourself. Relax. Do your research. If you have done your research, it should give you some sense of calmness walking in there. And honestly, that's the best piece of advice I can give, is just shake it off and remember that everybody's just a human being here, and this is not going to be like some scary thing. This is just you going and meeting some new people and being yourself.
Were you nervous the first time you had to be on the other side of the table, being the agent interviewing the actor for the first time?
I was nervous because I feel for actors so much that I just want them to feel comfortable, and was getting nervous for them. But after one time of doing it, it's kind of just like, no, like, this is chill.
That's excellent. So now that the world has really gone to self-tape, and I mean, that's amazing for us because now so many more actors get a chance to go into the room virtually.
Yeah.
What can an actor do to really make their self-tapes pop?
Have a good setup. Though that's going to make it pop. Ring lights are super cheap to get online, actually.
Sure.
You can make sure the lighting's good, make sure the framing's good. Like, it really doesn't take much nowadays to have a good looking tape. And all those things are going to bump up the quality and make someone catch someone's eye, make them want to watch further, all that kind of thing. And to really make it pop. I mean, going back to what I keep repeating is just making sure you get to a comfortable spot to where you feel like you can have a little room to bring yourself and not be so stuck on the page. Make sure you're having fun, loosen up, bring yourself to the character, and it's really going to make it pop.
If there's only one thing you want all the actors who are seeing this to really get, what is the one thing you want them to remember before they meet with their agent for the first time?
Be yourself. Seriously. That is what I keep going back to. I keep, punching it, but that's the real thing is just focus on being yourself and owning it. Owning who you are. Don't try to put on anything. You can come in if you're a chill person and you're more like laid back, come in chill and laid back. You don't have to put on anything for those types of interviews. I mean, you want to be professional, but you don't need to put on like a voice or energy.
So you're saying I shouldn't put on a suit?
No.
I probably should.
Not a suit.
Yeah.
You want to come in with your own style. You want to be you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tell that to students all the time.
I love seeing someone's like true style. And it also gives us a better idea of where to put you and where to think about you when doing breakdowns and casting.
Thank you so much for taking your time and allowing me into your home office to do the interview with you.
No problem. I am happy to join you and keep it up.
And I really hope we get to do some more fun work together soon.
We will. We certainly will.
I hope you enjoyed that interview. Don't forget to come back next week for part 2 of that interview. But for now, if you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and maybe share it with somebody going into their first agent interview so they could get their career moving forward. For now, say goodnight, Lily. Good night, Lily.